Good evening, everyone. Welcome to INNOVATE X, proudly organized by the Microsoft Club of Wellassa University. I am Chamodya Ponsu, and I am honored to be your host for tonight's exciting session about navigating Azure Universe, the essentials. We are thrilled to have such an enthusiastic audience gathered to dive into the world of Microsoft Azure. Now, it's time for the moment we've all been looking forward to. Please join me in the coming. This is Hansamali Gamage, a dynamic and accomplished professional in the tech industry. She brings over 10 years of experiences in software development and currently serves as a senior developer at Next Technologies in United Kingdom. She leads software development and architecture projects with a strong focus on backend development, cloud, and DevOps practices. Previously, she held key roles such as technical lead at CAMS, where she led design and deployment of enterprise solutions. Senior technical lead at Synergy and contributed a global firms like Anywhere 365 and Tikri in senior technical capacities. Her skill set spans wide range of technologies including .NET, ASP.NET, C Sharp, and MVC, Web API, Angular, Azure App Services, Cosmos DB, Azure DevOps, and many more. She also holds multiple Microsoft certifications like Azure Fundamentals, Microsoft Certified Trainer, Microsoft Most Valuable Professional in Azure. She is not just a developer, she is a mentor, tech community leader, and a driving force for innovation. We are incredibly fortunate to have her with us tonight to guide us through the essential of Azure, inspire every aspiring tech enthusiast here. So, without further ado, please give a warm welcome to Mrs. Hansamali Gamage. Madam, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Amodi, for that nice introduction. So, since we are on time limit, so we'll start with the session. So, hope you can see my screen. Uh, yeah, so this is a little bit about myself. I work as a senior developer for Next Technologies, and I do have experience on .NET, Azure, and mostly the Microsoft technology stack. Yeah, so in today's session, what we are going to talk is about some basic, a little bit about the Azure. And I have prepared a demo that we are going to build a .NET application and connect that with the Azure SQL database. And we are trying to deploy that solution to Azure App Service and Azure SQL database. Uh, so if we are going to start the session with what is Azure, so Azure is a cloud platform that provides us the phase to deploy, host our websites, web applications, our databases, and not limited to that, uh, we can use that as a store to keep our files, images, videos, kind of a multimedia files as well. So before coming to the modern tech, modern cloud applications, if we think about applications that we wrote uh, 20 years, maybe, yeah, 15 to 20 years back. So the software applications, what we did was we created some applications. Let's assume that so in a local supermarket like Food City, maybe Kids, so they do have a POS system, or maybe a way that they can generate an invoice with the items that a customer has bought. So for that, if we think about what kind of a software we are using and how that has been developed and deployed. So let's assume that we have deployed that application with .NET or C Sharp, and then we should have a way to deploy that application for the end users. That means maybe the salesperson that resides in the cashier. So we could do that with the Windows application in earlier days, like 15 to 20 years back. What we did was we created the app. We are going to deploy that into a machine, into a PC. So we should have the components that needs to run the application, the framework libraries and the software application and the database in a one single machine. So we could come up with a Windows application and could do that. Then after that, this web world came. So the internet and writing internet based applications, that concept came into the industry. So in there, instead of the Windows application, people were coding, or people were creating web-based applications. So with the web-based application, you can deploy all of your database and the application in a one single machine, and multiple people can connect to that application through a web browser and can use it. So that's web application. So we do have in terms of .NET, we do have MVC web applications, ASP.NET web applications. You can create a web application using front-end technologies like Angular, React. So that's what the technology stack that goes with the web applications. So instead of so then we had the Windows application phase, then web application phase. Now it's the, if I would say, that's the cloud phase. So so the companies, the applications is going to create, they should have uh, server hardware to deploy the applications and ask the users to log into their application. They should have the server hardware on premises. So if we say inside the premises, so companies has to maintain the hardware, upgrade, downgrade, install the patches, do all the maintenance stuff. So apart from that, people thought in order to make lives easy, uh, if we could navigate to the cloud world, that would be easy. So that's how these cloud technologies and these platforms has been provided to the end users and also to the organizations to take good benefit from that. So with the cloud world, what we are going to do is we are creating the application, building and deploying it into a cloud environment. So that cloud environment, who is the owner of the cloud environment that we are going to talk today, is Azure. That's Microsoft. So in their Microsoft servers, Microsoft data centers, they do have, I think, 20 plus data centers worldwide. So in one of their data centers, our application, we have the feasibility to deploy and maintain our application. So we are getting all the maintenance done from themselves. We are getting all the security features and the space, upgrade and downgrade facility, everything from the cloud vendor. So we do have IBM, Azure, AWS like cloud vendors, but if you are stick into the Microsoft technology stack, and if you want to go with with Microsoft cloud provider, you have to go with Azure. So Azure we do is a cloud provider. So it they offers like multiple services that you can deploy your web applications, you can host your databases, and you can put your files, maybe the pictures and the stuff in the cloud. And apart from that, now if I think you guys have heard about these large language models, ChatGPT and Azure AI, ML stuff. So they are providing vast amount of technological stuff with Azure AI Foundry. It's like maybe 1.5, 2 years back they have released. So in terms of the technological stuff that happening around the world, so I saw a term like data is the new oil. Don't you think so? So with the data that your personal data, your browsing history, and the applications that you are interested on. Let's say you are planning for a trip to go to Kandy or Goal, then based on what you are telling, and based on the things that you are searching, they are going the applications, Facebook kind of applications, is going to uh, show you the notifications, or maybe they are trying to direct you into the different platforms, maybe to the booking.com site likewise. So it's indeed right, because the data is the new oil that so many companies are going to get benefits from the data that the users are going to provide, whether they are knowingly or unknowingly. So with all of this data, so we have uh, the like the feasibility of using AI and these large language models, so you can build nice applications. So that's bit about the Azure AI Foundry. If you are interested, you can have a more deep dive look on that, and we will be having Microsoft build also soon, within 2-3 weeks of time this month. So have a look on those kind of conferences, so you will be able to get really nice ideas and where the future is going to be. So more apart from that, so I will come into the session. So I'm trying to just to create a simple web application, and I'm trying to deploy that as a Azure app service. I hope you know about the Azure student credits that you can get. So if I show you this place, so I think I forwarded these URLs also for the organizing committee with your student email ID. So you are eligible to receive some uh, free credits from Azure, so you can try out these Azure services. So if you haven't done that, please do it when you have time today, or maybe within this week, and try to follow these demo steps with me when you have time. So that will be really beneficial for your that would be a good start point for your profile, because you should have knowledge on Azure, I think, when you are going to the industry now. So there are so many uh, amazing things that we can do, and just have a little bit look on the AI side as well. So this is a kind of the application I'm trying to create. So I will first try to do that from a fresh project. Yeah, so I will go for I will open my Visual Studio. Let me drag that to the correct screen. Yep, I hope you can see it. So I am trying to create a new project. So I want to create a web API. I hope you know what is a web API. So if we take Pizza Hut kind of application, that's a website. So that's a public facing website. You can just go to the URL and make your order. Anyone can do that. Web application is more like a kind of a place that's with maybe, if I could say, maybe your mobile commercial bank. A commercial bank web portal is a web application. Only the designated users has the access to it, not a website. And web API is in those days. So when I was in the university, most of the applications were built as monolithic applications. Uh, the UI side of that, maybe the front end and the business logic and the back end API stuff and the database, those everything were resided in a single one container. But now, after monolithic, we have the two-tier applications, three-tier applications. Now it's distributed applications. Your database resides maybe uh, in Europe region, but your web application is like web application is deployed in somewhere uh, in Asian country. So likewise, there are some scenarios. Let's say if I take the Pizza Hut same application, so that kind of a website or a web application. So there's two part to that. Uh, in the if you log into the Pizza Hut application, you can see what are the uh, available menu items in there. Maybe a cheese pizza, some uh, what's a good one? I can't remember even that. Uh, you can have a cheese pizza or maybe some devil chicken, some kind of a pizza. So those are two items. So customers are going to log into the Pizza Hut application and they are going to check that. It's just a data retrieval, right? You are going to log into the application and you are seeing list of menu items, just data retrieval. Any customers, the end users are not going to do any modifications on those menu items. They are just clicking the item to add that into their basket. That's what happens. So mainly the main focus of that showing the menu items is that's just only for the data retrieval purpose. So if you want to make that application loads fast with high performance, then you can have that menu items resided to a Cosmos DB, to a document database. Because document database is fast and it's going to have a good performance when you are it provides you fast retrieval in a document database rather than a relational database. Relational databases, that SQL database we do have. Okay, so Oracle, likewise, it's more towards the relational side. That means you should have a way to manage the relationship between the two entities. But if you want to load the menu items fast, you don't have to have any kind of a relation, right? You just want to retrieve the item details, item specific details. But if you want to proceed to the invoice, then you want to go for a relational database, because when you are checking on the add to cart item and then you are going to check out, that you have to find the customer location. If you have to deliver that into their place, you have to check the customer location, you have to apply the discounts on top of that. So many transactions are going to happen when you click on checkout button. For that, you should take the promotional details, customer details. So those stuff, invoice related stuff, customer information, those can be reside in a more transactional database like relational SQL database. But the customer facing information like showing the menu items, that should be for the fast retrieval, that can be reside in a document database. So if you take Pizza Hut and Domino's, if you are just having kind of a get together and you want to order some pizza, and you are going to the Pizza Hut application and it doesn't load. It takes maybe, let's say, 30 seconds or more than kind of a 1 minute. Then you are going to the Domino's, right? Because its menu items are not loading. I want to order it fast. So for the fast retrieval, it's better to use that kind of a strategy. So that's what we are calling as polyglot persistence. That means for a one application, don't have to stick into a one database. You can use multiple databases, document database and a more relational database. And in terms of the API that we are going to create today, it's not a monolithic application. You are going to distribute your business logic into the web API, and your front end. There are some scenarios. This web API is going to be developed by Sri Lankan developers, but the front end is going to developed by, we can say, a development team that's available in the Europe with Angular and Angular and React. But the backend is developed by Sri Lankan developers using Web API and SQL database. And another team can take up the document database part, and that they can create another Web API. So it's not a strict rule that you have to use web application for a one web. You can only use one web API service for a web application. You can have multiples. So I'm going to create a web API that's going to write some business logic and provide data retrievals and data creations. In any of the applications, the main theory is you are going to retrieve some data and create some data. That's what we are going to do. So for the retrieval and for the data creation, we can go for a ASP.NET Core Web API. So I'm using Visual Studio 2022, and I will select Web API from here. From these languages, you can select C#, and you can say for the platform, if you want to go into more Azure side of stuff, you can select Azure, or else all platforms. From here, you can point to the ASP.NET Core Web API. So I will click on next, and I will provide a name. We'll say weather app. That's the most of specific template that we are getting from Visual Studio weather application. So I will just create a new folder, and yeah, click on next, and I'm going to use this .NET 9. So .NET 9 is standard term support. That means the support for the .NET 9 will be ending soon. So it's better if you are going to use enterprise level application to go for .NET 8. But for this one, I will go for the latest version. That's .NET 9. And apart from that, I'm not going to do any changes, and I'm not going to go into the too deep level of this because we are focusing only on Azure. So I will just say create, and it's going to create me the application here. Yeah, I have to get it into the correct screen. Yeah. Okay, so I will build this one. I will run this application quickly. Yeah, before that I can run that, but I would prefer to take the output to the web browser. So because of that, I will say, and the template that Microsoft provided us, we do have the program.cs file. In there, we do have this endpoint weather forecast. So I will check whether that works. Okay, I should have the, yeah, weather forecast. Yeah, it works. Now what I want to do is I want to deploy this application. This one. Just want to deploy this application to Azure. So what I'm going to do is I will say publish, and I want to publish into one of these targets. So the folder publish means and the web server publish means most toward that we are not using any cloud provider. We are using on-premises deployment, on-prem deployment to deploy a server that's available in our organization or in our environment. But I will go for Azure and click on next. And you can have wide variety of ways that you can deploy your application. So I will go with Azure App Service and on Windows platform. Yeah. Then, so you should have your Azure subscription here, Azure account that you should have logged in with your Azure account, and your subscription name needs to be selected. So I am going to create a new application, web app service actually, app service named UW Weather, and this is my subscription name. I can create a resource group. You know about it. Do you know about the resource group? This resource group means it's like a folder. So you can create a folder in your Windows machine, and you can put your app service, your web API application, and the database into the same folder. So that's what the resource group is. It's kind of a container that holds your app service and the database, and you can have your something called app service plan. So we will be coming into that later. So if you want to remove all these UWU weather specific stuff, you can just delete the resource group. Then your database, your app service plan, all of that will be getting deleted. So I will copy this name. That would be easy for me. And I will be creating the resource group, and you should have a hosting plan. That's the app service plan means. That means if you are going for a subscription from Mobitel, right? From Mobitel, you have the option to select the prepaid, postpaid, or monthly. So there are so many stuff, whether you want only data, whether you want any calls, likewise. So kind of a plan. What is the plan that you want your applications to be hosted and to be maintained? Because the Azure itself, with the data center that we are going to select, they are, based on that they are going to do all the service maintenance. So for an example, if I say this is a weather application, let's say this is a maybe a application to sell clothes online. So in particular seasons, like in December, in April, in Sri Lanka, the number of requests that comes to the comes to your web application or website is going to get increased. So based on that, you should have a bigger server, a high performant RAM, high performance store, high highly available or maybe high capacity of storage. So for that, uh, based on your based on the number of requests that comes to your application, you can upgrade and downgrade your resources, because uh, the amount of requests coming on April and December, and somewhere around February, October, November is not the same. So you don't have to have that much of capacity for your application. If there are no users are coming to your website, you don't have to pay, right? Because everything that you're going to create on Azure, that's going to cost. So you have to have a better plan. So for that, at first we'll start with the free tier. Okay, then we'll try to select somewhere closer to us. That's Southeast Asia. We can go for the South India as well. What this says, it says there's a number of free app service plan allowed in a subscription is 10. Maybe I may have exceeded that. Let's say shared. I will try this again with a different location. It seems, yes, whatever the location I select, I do have the considerable amount of services, so maybe it's because of that. So I will go for the Southeast Asia and we'll go for the shared subscription, shared size. If not, it's better to start with free. Then I will say okay, and I'm going to create a hosting plan. Yeah, I should say just to remove that and say plan, weather plan, and for this let's say group. Okay, looks fine for me. I don't want this unique default host name, and this is in when you see something in preview, that means it's still not released. So it has been released for people to try out and give feedback. If that's going to be successful, definitely most of the time it's going to be successful, then they're going to release it. You can use this feature, or else you just can you don't want to use this feature. There's nothing makes a big difference with the default host name. So I will say create. So this is going to create your app service. This will be creating your app service, and the publish profile. So we'll give it some time, and till that gets created. So I will go to the application that I have already created with some information. So here, so with the profile, if I show you the so here, if I say publish, so in the application that we created, it's okay, it's asking us to go for next, and it's check whether you want any API management instance for that. For now, it's a different topic actually, API management is. So because of that, I will say skip this step, and then this is going to create your profile. Okay, it's created, and then it's provide you, it shows you the target framework and the target runtime, the account and the subscription, and the uh, app service URL that it's going to create it. So I will say publish. So from the output window, you would be able to see what's going to happen in the background. So you are doing the publish, and it started to build the application. Yeah, I will just maximize it a little bit, and it's going to publish. The app has been published. So now let's see, it should automatically open up the application. So let's see whether it's going to happen. Yes, so I will check, get this URL stuff here, and you can see your web application is deployed as a app service. Okay, so now I'm going to do little bit of few things actually. So this is Visual Studio. I hope you guys know and you have used ChatGPT in your maybe in your assignment, in your university works. So I do use it a lot. You do have this GitHub Copilot that's also created using these large language models with AI feature into it. Uh, so you can, if you have a check, where is it? Yeah. No, it's not in there. Yeah, if you have a GitHub account, you can use the GitHub Copilot for free, but my advice is don't use it, because since you guys are newcomers and newbies to the industry, don't use GitHub Copilot to do the coding, because that's better to do the start and do the things from the scratch. So don't use GitHub Copilot, but I'm going to use it for the demo in order to show you guys a little bit about the Copilot, and also to increase the speed of the demo, since we do have limited time. And I'm using this GitHub Copilot with GitHub Copilot for Azure. GitHub Copilot for Azure is available as a Visual Studio code extension that you can add, and it can you can ask questions and you can get the response. Apart from that, if you select GitHub Copilot agent mode, this one, then GitHub Visual Studio Code plus GitHub Copilot can perform things like creating folders, generating files, deploying the code to Azure likewise. So it's really useful, and that will be the future, I think. So, but don't worry, I don't think that's going to replace the job of a software engineer or a developer, but you should have a vast amount of skill set to use AI tools, plus you should have a good analytical and technical knowledge. So that's what we should have in order to persist in the industry, as I think, because it's going to be different. These AI tools is going to do the kind of automated task that we have developed for days, that we have coded for days. uh, yeah, so I'm going to little bit use this GitHub Copilot as well. Okay, so then what I'm going to do is, I do have GitHub Copilot installed for my Visual Studio, but GitHub Copilot for Azure, and this is not available with the agent mode. So since that, I am using Visual Studio Code as well for few things. So I will just start a new window, and I am trying to open the project that we have created here. So I will go here and say open folder in File Explorer. Then it's going to open my project files. Yeah, it's here. It's here. So I'm going to click on this path, and I'm going to open this thing from Visual Studio Code. So I do have all the files here, program.cs. The stuff, I think, you can see this. should I increase the font size? Can't remember how to do that. I hope you can see the font size. And so then I'm going to launch this GitHub Copilot here. So we have the application deployed into Azure. Now I want to integrate this into a database. So for that, I want to ask to create a model. So I am going to tell hello Copilot, and I am in the ask mode. I want to move into agent mode and say create models folder in the solution. Okay. Say continue. Give me a moment. I think that would be better if I could increase the font size. Is it? I hope this is bit fine. Okay. So yeah. So now it's giving me the instruction. It's running these instructions. So let's see. Yeah, it's the folder is created. So I will go into the view and terminal. So then I would be able to see what's happening behind the background. Okay, now the folder is created. See, we don't have to do that by ourselves. But I want to create that inside here, right? Yeah, something is going to be a problem. Maybe I have opened the wrong folder. Let me check it again. We'll say open folder and go here. We'll just delete it. And this is the folder. Yeah, now I'm going to say hello Copilot. Create a model or create a models folder in the solution. No, this is not what I asked. We'll just say create a. Sometimes this AI is going to get wrong, right? Then a folder. Okay. I have to open some file. If not, he's going to be confused. We'll say, yeah, this is my workspace. Okay. It's going to create the models folder for me. Is it? For the project, let's say. Okay. Let me check the model class. Let me check where this is created. It's not created anywhere. This is my, okay, he's going to create it here. No, I want to create a models folder. We create that. Okay. Okay, this Copilot couldn't do that for me. It's a bit confused. And I want to ask Copilot to uh, create a class to hold, because in the program.cs we do have the weather forecast endpoint here, and for this one he's going to use this weather forecast class that's available here. So I want to move this weather forecast class into the models folder. So let's see, Copilot can do that. So you don't have to create a class. Move weather forecast class inside models folder. Oh, should have the agent mode to do the stuff. If not, in the ask mode, it's going to provide some response, or he's going to provide me the things that I have to do, but I want him to do it. So I will tell him again in the agent mode here. Let's see whether he can do it. He's still doing stuff. So let's see. Yeah, we do have models class here. Seems like he's not responding. We'll say it again. .cs class to models folder. Just stop it and ask him to do that again. Seems like not successful, so I will move this into the models folder. Let me try it with the Solution Explorer. I will reveal in File Explorer and then go to Weather Forecast class and open this. Oh, maybe it's not a folder. It seems it's a file. Okay, it's a problem. I will the new folder models and reveal in File Explorer. Okay, sorry for the confusion. Yeah, now I do have my weather forecast class here. Okay. Now I want to create a database context class, because now I'm trying to create the database and this weather forecast is going to act as the table. So then I want to create a database context class. I'm going to say create a database context class to hold the weather forecast table. Just say like that. Yeah. Okay, so since we are running out of time, so I will show you the created files structure in here. So I do have the models class, weather forecast class, and also inside the data folder, I do have the weather DB context. And then I'm trying to run some migrations in order to create this weather DB context database. and with the weather forecast table. So if we check the weather DB context, and we do have this weather forecast class. If you know about this code first approach, and there are there are three actually ways that you can connect your code plus the data, code with the database. You can go with code first, database first, and model first. So in our demo, what we tried to do was we created our classes. That means this weather forecast class. From the classes, from the POCO classes, simple classes, we try to generate the database. That's code first approach. Database first approach means that's used in, we can use in already existing database. With the database, we are going to create the classes. So that's the database first approach. Model first approach means, if you remember, or if you know, if you have done that, creating the ER diagrams. So in the software requirement phase, we try to identify what are the entities in our software application, and with customer has addresses, customer has invoices, customer is going to in the invoice you have invoice lines. Invoice line is connected with an item. Likewise, you're going to map the relationships. So that's in the model first approach. You are going to create the model first, and then with that model you are going to create the classes and the database. So likewise, there are three ways that we can connect the database plus the application. So we what we did was creating the database. So for that, you have to create the database migration scripts. That means the code files that you are going to generate the database. So this is that. So you are going to create the table and the columns, and you are going to add some data as well with the insert data. So that's what we were trying to do. We don't have time, so because of that, I will show you the created database. So this is my local database that we do have as weather DB. So if I show you the connection string, this is the connection string. We have to provide the server, database, and the connection string information. So this is the database. I do have this weather forecast table here with these data. Those data I provided in here. I am adding these data to the weather database, and then what I tried to do was now we created. So if we go back to the demo we were trying to do, we created the web API and we deployed that as a Azure App Service, and then we add the data to the database. So we did that, right? So if I go into the application here and app settings JSON, so this is connected to my local database instance. So if I show you this, and sorry, slash weather forecast, this is the data that's available in my database. And then what we are going to do is we add data into the database when we are trying to deploy this to a Azure database. Okay, we can in the on-premises application, your web application is in your server and your database is also in the same server or in a different server. But with Azure, you can connect to on-premises database. But in this demo, what I'm trying to do is connect to your Azure SQL database from the Azure App Service. So I am trying to deploy that database For that, I am going to just click on the publish. So I want to publish my Azure App Service plus the database. Okay, now we we do have the profile for the Azure App Service. Likewise, so we have the target framework stuff, and we have the subscription and also the resource group and the resource name. That's weather app, and this would be the URL. Okay, so I will just click on that. This was our uh, the previous URL was the one that we created was different. So yeah, it was this one, UWU, this one, but instead, since we don't have time, so I will just go for this one. So I do have my app service here. I think this may be not the correct one. I will just go into the yeah, this one, Leicester weather one. So that's the correct one. So if I go into this URL with this, yeah, the other one has some problems. That's why it says 500. And I will try to go into weather forecast. Yeah, this one. So I will show you the steps. Give me like another 10 minutes of time, please. So I will just show you the steps how we can deploy the Azure SQL database. For that, so if you can check, so there's a section for service dependencies. You have the Azure App Service, and you can have some other services connected to your Azure App Service with the same uh, profile, same publish profile that we have created. You can connect these other Azure services. So we are not going to worry about the Azure APIM for now. What we want is the Azure SQL database. So for that, you can do is you can click on plus icon and add your Azure database. It has been popped up somewhere. I think it doesn't allow me to click on that. Let me check in where. Just can't find where it has. Ah, yeah, where is it? I do have multiple monitors. I think that's the problem that I can't find where that publish has been come up. So just give me a minute. We'll try to. It doesn't actually let me close Visual Studio as well. It's gone. Now let's see with the solution. I will go into my publish, and I want to let's edit dependency. Yep. Or else you can say add. Oh, I will say edit dependency. I would be able to show you the databases that I have, and you can create a new database the same way that we did as Azure App Service. So what you can do here is provide database name, subscription. You can select existing resource group, and you have to create database server plus the database. So in here, when you are trying to create the database server, you have to provide the server name, the location that you want to deploy, the same as the app service location, and you have to provide some username and password to connect to the database. Usually when you are installing SQL Management Studio and SQL Server, so you have prompted to provide SQL Server authentication related information. What would be the password for your SA user? So likewise, you have to provide the admin username and password for your database server first. And inside that database server, you are going to create the database. Okay. That's how we can do this. So I will show you the stuff that I have created. So this is my the resources that's available. So I will go into my application and I will just go into my resource group. So under my resource group, I have my app service and I have my app service plan. So we created app service plan as well. And then this is my database server and the database. So likewise, these are my 4 Azure resources available. Okay, so now I will quickly go. So once you done with all these, once you have connected a database here. Okay, now it came up. Apologies that it didn't come up uh, previously. So what would be your service dependency? It's the database, so you can search for a Azure SQL database or else the Cosmos database. That's Cosmos database is a document database that's available in Azure Arena, and you can connect to a on-premises SQL database as well. And yeah, there were so many services, right? There are so many Azure services that you can use, APIM, storage stuff. Those I will be, if you guys are interested, I will do some more demos on Azure SQL storage and document databases. So I will say, so we saw the database server and the database stuff. And if I move here, so I will just go into my database for now. So this is my database and this is my database server. Okay, so this is my database server, and you have to allow some firewall configurations when you want to connect your app service to a SQL database, because I think in some of your applications when you are deploying your developing your backend and front end as two different applications, you have to say hello backend. These are my front end application. This is the URL of my front end application, or the IP address of my front end application is going to access you. So likewise, you have to set up firewall rules uh, for your uh, for your web application. So you have to provide the IP address of your web application here for the database server. So I will, oh, this is your database server. So now I will go into the database. So this is my database, and you can see the database connection string here. So this is with the Active Directory authentication. We don't have to think about that if you go with the SQL authentication. So in your SQL Management Studio, see, if you see, this is my database server. Okay, this is my database server name, and with the port, this is the database name, and this is my username and password information. So with that, you can, from the SQL Management Studio, you can connect to your database. And also another thing, it's just the final one I will promise, I will show you. So this is my web application. In here, in your local application, what we did was we have the local connection string, and in the Azure you have to provide your Azure SQL database connection string, and from your local application also you can connect to the Azure SQL database. So for the from the Azure App Service also you can connect to the Azure SQL database. So you have the connection string name as, here you have that as default connection, the same key value pair you have to provide under the connection string. So this is the connection string for the Azure SQL database. So you have to provide these information and then you are good to go. So you can say browse, and you have to provide your endpoint. So it's going to show you the weather forecast application. So yeah, that's pretty much of the things that I had to discuss. So apologies that there were some network glitches and my monitors were playing weirdly with me. So apologies for that. I hope you could get a little bit understanding of Azure. Don't be too overwhelmed about the Azure services available. It's very simple application and the database. Two Azure services that we were talking about today. Yeah, so if you have any more questions, so you can ask from me, or else the organizers, you can let know the organizers the questions or maybe the interesting topics that you have in Azure, so I can be, maybe in another future session I would be able to share some knowledge. So thank you very much that you bear in with me until I think 8:30, and thank you very much for joining the session. So I'm going to mute myself. If you have any questions, you can ask from me.
Thank you so much, madam, for that insightful and inspiring session. Let's move on to the Q&A session. If you have any question regarding this session or question related to IT industry, you can put it on our chat so that you can get a better answer from our speaker.
If you are shy to ask questions, yeah, that's fine. So that was me. When I was in my university, you can let your questions know to the organizers, so then they would be able to pass that to me, or else like you can reach me out in my LinkedIn, Facebook, and yeah, if you have any questions regarding the industry or maybe this, whether your job is in not in safe hands with AI, likewise questions, so you can just reach out to me.
Okay, seems like we don't get any questions. So We're going to move on. Uh, we would like to take a moment to present a token of appreciation to Mrs. Hansamali Gamage on behalf of Microsoft Club of Wellassa University. We truly appreciate the time and effort you have taken to share your valuable knowledge and real world experiences with us. Your journey and expertise have certainly ignited a deeper curiosity and motivation in all of us here today. Now, to formally express our gratitude, I'd like to invite Lahiru to deliver the vote of thanks. Lahiru, it's over to you.
Thank you, Jamodi. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for all joining us today in INNOVATE X Navigation the Azure Universe, the Essentials. A big thank to you, our amazing speaker, Mrs. Hansamali Gamage, Senior Developer at Next Technologies, for sharing her knowledge and guiding us through the world Microsoft Azure. Your knowledge and energy truly inspired us. We also more we also want to thank everyone who helped make this session possible. To all of you who joined us, thank you. Your curiosity, your questions, and your energy made this session special. We hope today gave the spark explore more the shine in the cloud world. Stay curious, stay inspired, and see you next one. Again, thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, Lahiru, for those warm and thoughtful words. And with that, we officially conclude tonight's session of Innovate X. Once again, big thank you to Mrs. Hansamali Gamage and our organizing team, and of course, all of you who join us with this evening. So we'll see you in the next session. Have a wonderful evening.